How about February board meeting
January.
for Ignite CDA? And if you'd all rise and help me with the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
That's what happens when you really push for it.
I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Time's going by so quickly.
Semi-retired.
Yeah. And now it's time for public comment, if there's any public comment out there.
No public.
Seeing none, then I'll
My favorite kind of public.
entertain some action item for the consent calendar, please.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent calendar for January 2025, which includes the board meeting minutes for December 18th, 2024, the payables as submitted, and the district monthly financial statements.
Thanks, Sarah.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion, comments, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. Next up, Mr. Burns, the Executive Director's Report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First up is an action item for the updated Ignite CDA Public Records Retention Policy. I shared this policy with you here last week. Basically, some background, Ignite CDA's policy was created in 2015, and at that time met all the Idaho Code requirements regarding public record retention. Over the past 10 years, there have been a few updates to the Idaho Code that impact the policy. The updated 2025 policy document incorporates those changes, bringing the policy up to date with current Idaho Code regarding public record retention. Legal counsel Quaid and her assistant, Mr. Brandon, in Boise did the work, and we would entertain any questions you might have about that updated policy.
Questions for Tony or Danielle?
Otherwise, we would need a motion to approve it.
Oh, I guess it's me again. I'm up.
Somebody.
I make a motion that we approve the updated Ignite CDA public records retention policy.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. That motion carries.
Thank you. The next item is Resolution 2501, destruction of semi-permanent and temporary public records. This resolution pertains to the destruction of the following public records for the agency's public record retention policy. Temporary public records, documents, and statements dated prior to October 2022, and semi-permanent records dated prior to October 1st, 2019. Those adhere to the retention policy guidelines, and those documents are listed in the resolution that I sent you. So we do this every January, just kind of to adhere to the record retention policy.
Need a motion?
Oh, jeez.
I'll move.
I'll move Thank you, Chris.
To adopt Resolution 2501, destruction of semi-permanent and temporary public records.
Second. Moved and seconded. Roll call, please, Tony.
Can I just ask a question?
Yes.
I'm
Oh, yeah.
sorry. I don't mean to be on such a, we have to do something tonight. We have to ask a question. So Tony, how do we store our records, both this permanent and the semi-permanent? Are they all electronic? Are they some paper and some electronic?
Yes, both. There's on paper, they're electronic, but most of them are electronic and they're backed up. They exist on this laptop and they're backed up on the cloud.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Good questions.
That's all I wanted to ask. Just
The
for
cloud, wherever the
clarification.
cloud
Yeah.
is. It's
Okay.
on one of those clouds up there.
It's on the cloud.
Tony, could you explain the cloud, please?
How much hours do we have?
Ready for the roll call, Mr. Chairman?
I'm still wondering if it's January or not, but yeah. Roll call, please.
Evans,
Yes.
Arman,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Garcia,
Yes.
Metz,
Yes.
Hoskins,
Yes.
Jester,
Yes.
Mandel.
Yes.
We are regrouping and refocusing to our efforts to look at the I-90 widening project by ITD. There's going to be plenty of materials moved out there. We need about probably the most 25,000 cubic yards. And our intent is to make sure that the folks that pick up the bid package that will be let in February are aware that we have a place for them to spring
Deposit.
some fine material for us to use. Hopefully that they will use that in their pricing and that we will be able to, obtain what we need. So that's the game plan, to kind of get that site back to the preferred buildable grade. So that's ongoing. Hopefully we'll be successful. Next item is just a Atlas Project Phase 3 site update. The Atlas Project Ad Hoc Committee, which is comprised of the Atlas Project team members, myself, Ms. Quaid, in this to kind of learn what they do, how they do it, and see what kind of practicality it might have to our Phase 3 site initiative for attainable housing. We learned a lot. I learned a lot, and I think Danielle learned a lot too about how they do things and their flexibility about how they work, their business model. It was a very interesting meeting, and we hope to have other overtures and kind of meetings with other individuals here in the community in the next few months. And we'll talk more about this with the ad hoc committee and get their guidance too.
Was Habitat interested in our project? Or is that how they do
Very
that?
much
Or
so. And
Good.
in very, very interesting ways too. So just kind of data gathering right now, information gathering to kind of see what makes sense and learn more about that. And we'll talk with our learned folks in our community about different things. So the process has begun. And that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thanks, Tony. Time for board commissioner comments. Any board commissioner have a comment for this month? Councilman Miller?
I'm so nervous because I'm so new.
Right. Oh, sorry.
I learned it was January, so.
So this is just housekeeping, but we have a new man in the booth, Mike.
Yep, Mike.
And so I'm used to having a mic. Mike, I'm used to having a mic. So can you hear us when we're this all far apart and the mics are all away? We haven't had a recording issue? Okay, that's good. I just thought I'd clear that because I didn't want to feel like I had to do this to lean over. We'd all be cozy. And then the other thing is on the 25K, the dirt that you're looking for, is there the ability for Ignite to kind of put the word out for anyone else that may have structural fill that may be available?
We've been putting the word out for months and months and months and months and months. And so everybody knows we want it. There's always the negotiations about, how much are we willing to pay for it, which is next to nothing. We like it for free. And so that's usually not the real winner.
So you're usually going out to the major contractors and
Right.
and that, not the tippers, like the end game people who are going into the quarries, right?
Right. We want to make sure we get good stuff. And so we're focusing our efforts on folks that will bring us good quality material that still would be tested, but we are dealing with known entities in the community.
Okay. Thanks.
That's it? That's it, Kiki?
That's it. Thank you.
Anybody else have a comment?
Tony, in your conversations with Habitat, they have the capacity to do something of this nature? Because I'm aware that they have an ongoing project over by Costco, I think it is. They're finishing up one 5-unit and another 5-unit is going up, if I'm not mistaken.
From what they shared with us, we met with the executive director and one of his board members, and they said that they have that capacity to do 7 to 10 units per year, and that they would fine-tune or even modify their current business model to meet our requirements and our desires for
Excellent.
the project. So
Excellent, yeah. Good organization, and I like what they do it and the way they do it, yeah.
Sorry. All of a sudden, I'm not nervous. So I was just going to throw in that one of the things that Habitat has done, and I hope you talked about this, but the ad hoc committee will talk about it again, is that they can manage the paperwork side for another builder project. So they don't necessarily have to build
To physically
the
do it.
project, to physically build it and use that model. They can do the paperwork and project manage it and take that piece away from Ignite. So